So hello marvelous souls, it's been so long, but today I felt really inspired to make a video, so here I am. The past week has been a really big journey as far as boundaries and understanding what I truly want and truly need, and this concept of boundaries and self-betrayal. Meaning, if you cross your own boundaries, meaning you have a truth you hold inside and you decide to go against that truth and do the opposite of that truth, you are now essentially betraying yourself. This has been a theme in my life throughout my life, but for some reason this week especially, it's been coming up, I would say collectively, because I've been talking to and interacting with many different people who have had a similar experience in reference to boundaries. I wanted to talk about boundaries because it's something that I've struggled with my entire life, and it's something that I see people around me also struggle with. So I want to talk about something that happened between me and my friend the other day. We make jewelry together. She's one of my really good friends. I love her to death. If you ever see this, Leah, hi Leah. Anyways, so we make jewelry together, and we also mirror each other in a lot of aspects of our lives as far as being people pleasers, being overgivers, and being the person that is considered the helper personality type in the group. It's really nice actually to have friends who have similar wounds to you, so you can deeply understand each other and help each other grow on each other's journey. So one thing that I like to do and practice with her is to encourage her to have boundaries with me when we interact, because I'm a person, let me say, I'm really psychic in this way where it's very easy for me to read the room. Meaning it's very easy for me to see an incongruence between your authenticity and your actions or the words that you speak. I can see basically very easily if it's out of alignment with your truth. So when I interact with my friend, a lot of the time she overgives to me, and I always have to encourage her to really check in with herself before she gives things to me. So I literally say, hey, slow down, ask yourself, why am I giving this, and do I really want to? And see what comes up. Let it bubble up within you. Take the time. Maybe you'll get the answer later. Maybe you'll get the answer now, but at least take the time to check in with yourself. Now, it was funny because the night before I had planned to go to her house, I had all these things that I wanted to give her. Old pieces of jewelry, beads, shells that I have never used and don't think I'll ever use in my journey, and decided to gift it to her. But there were a couple items that I felt like I wanted to keep. So deep down I was like, wait, I think maybe I should keep these, but she could use them. And I had this like sense of guilt bubble up within me. And I had those thoughts all day long, and then I had those thoughts into the night. And I decided, instead of betraying myself and just automatically putting those things in the box that I was going to give her, I'm going to wait, sleep on it, meditate on it, and see how I really feel. And it was funny because when I woke up in the morning, I had these amazing thoughts pop up in my head where I was like, wait, I have to listen to the part of me that doesn't feel good about this. The part of me that is basically incongruent with the giver personality. The part of me that's like, I actually want this for myself. And if I go against that part of myself, then I'm practicing self-betrayal essentially. I'm then violating and crossing my own boundaries. So it was so funny. And by the way, I want to wrap up that story really fast. I actually took those items and put them aside for myself, and I'm looking forward to using them in the future. But fast forward back to when I spent time with my friend, I realized she was doing the exact same thing. She felt this need to give things to me and didn't check in with herself first to see if she wanted to or not. And then this happened, a very interesting moment where there was these items that she saw that I was attracted to, and immediately within her, she felt this feeling of, I don't want to give this. So her initial reaction was to make it about somebody else. Her friend had gifted her those beads, and she used her to say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to give that back to her or not. Instead of taking the responsibility to be like, well, you know, I genuinely don't want to use that, you to use that. I want to use that for myself. The same initial feeling that came up within me the night before. And it was funny to me because I realized that she was doing that. She was not wanting to share and not knowing how to say that because of the fear that we all share of how the person will react or retaliate against us for saying essentially no and having a boundary. So in that very beautiful moment, I took the opportunity to reassure my friend that she can have boundaries with me, that she is allowed to say no if she wants to say no. And I took the opportunity to tell her my story of the night before, of how I had this internal battle whether or not to give her these items or not, because there was a part of me that felt like if I gave it to her, it would help her. But at the end of the day, deep down, I wanted it for myself. And that's okay too. So yeah, moral of the story is encourage yourself to step back before you give something or help someone in some way. Ask yourself, do I really want to do it? Does it feel good to me? And why am I doing it? What is my intention with helping this person? Slow down enough to ask yourself these questions and do the same for other people. Be an advocate for other people's growth and to learn how to have boundaries, just as you have to do for yourself. So that is my little lesson on boundaries today. I don't know if this video is going to help anybody, but I know it helped me because I'm starting to see the change in myself, and I'm starting to love myself more by saying no when I mean no and yes when I mean yes, and checking in with myself before I give the yes or no. Before I respond, I completely check in with myself to understand if that's really what I want or not. And I think that that's the most self-loving choice when it comes to learning how to have boundaries with people or boundaries around things. Now, I'll go on a whole nother video about boundaries and what they actually are, but one of my favorite spiritual teachers defines it like this. Literally, boundaries are what defines you and what defines me. So basically, it defines your individuality. Who are you personally? Your personal yes, your personal preference, your personal no's. It's okay. Everyone has different ones. Sometimes we have similar ones. I think a lot of times with codependent people, we tend to mimic those around us so we can feel safer. But does it really make you safe when you're not being true to yourself? Because eventually the truth comes out. Resentment bubbles, and yeah, you can't hide yourself forever. Keep that in mind when you're interacting with other people, that essentially you are duping them or lying to them when you're not in alignment with your truth and you're not in integrity or living with a sense of integrity. So anyways, I really hope this message helps someone. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one, Marvelous Souls.